Alright, so we just got the ETS intercooler kit for 2008 335i, which actually it fits I think 2007 through 2011, I do believe, 335i. And we're going to compare it here to the VRSpeed Factory one, which is a total piece of garbage. That right there, the inlet to the intercooler on the hot side, on the passenger side, it hits right here, as you'll see in my other videos if you watch them, and it hits the fan shroud and does not allow this to go all the way up in, where this tab will bottom out when you tighten it up, and it leaves a gap there. If you look at my other video, you'll see the poor quality of this particular intercooler kit. Poor finish on it too. They used some silver paint type stuff on it instead of just leaving the natural finish like this, which honestly, if you're not going to do black anodized or anything like that, you might as well just leave the natural finish or polish it. It looks way better those ways than painting it. It just looks cheap. Look at the weld quality difference. This is the VRSpeed Factory. Just look like shit. You look at these here, beautiful, beautiful welds. Quite straight for doing it by hand compared to that right there. Just really nice construction. Another thing to keep in mind, your ETS cooler has the factory size inlets, or inlet and outlet, I should say. Whereas the VRSpeed Factory has 3-inch, which is absolutely unnecessary on this car. There's no need to run 3-inch piping for your intercooler system, and the factory piping is so small on the charge side that you're losing a velocity. You got a big velocity drop going to a 3-inch, which is absurd. When this came in, it was wrapped up in that bubble wrap over there, one wrap all the way around to protect the fins here, which honestly, I mean, it kind of protects it, but not that great, because bubble wrap can be pushed on and could still damage the fins possibly. This one wasn't bad. However, I like the way ETS ships. Simple piece of cardboard, cheap, little bit of tape, covers the fins, protects them. That way, absolutely no damage. You have a large pressure point here. Even if you pushed on here, that cardboard's going to absorb a lot of impact and spread it out over a larger area than bubble wrap would if you hit it, and in turn protects the fins much better. Comparing the two, yes, the 5-inch core from ETS does not have the step. Sure. Is the step really going to do you that much good? That little bit that it is there, it's not that big of a step. Maybe, but without testing it, there's no way to really know without testing them side by side. ETS has sheet metal or sheet stainless in tanks versus cast. However, the castings from this VR is honestly quite shitty. The tabs are all sorts of off. I'm going to presume, more than likely for the price and from things that I've seen, how they've gotten massive shipments in, these are probably not made in America, probably made to a very low quality standard over in China or some other country, and I could be wrong. The ETS is American made, American craftsmanship, made in America, American jobs, American economy, and just unless you get a really bad American built product, the quality is 10 times better than anything from China most of the time. Is the material sourced from America or is it sourced from China? That I'm not sure, but it looks to be decent quality. Let's go ahead and take a peek at these fins here. I know everybody talks a lot about the fin density on the two intercoolers of, you know, if the fins are not dense enough, it doesn't really do that good. And yep, it's a clear difference. VRSpeed Factory. Let's focus it here. Large gaps. Okay, that's the VR. And here's the ETS cooler. I'm going to come down here and we're going to focus it. Much, much denser fins. The more dense the fins, the more surface area for cooling, which means even though this core doesn't have that step, I'd be willing to bet you it cools just as well as that one right there. Just as well, because you get more fins that the heat can absorb into, that the air can pass through to cool this charge temperature down. The real question and the real test is going to be when I go outside and fit this up in the car to make sure that this clears the fan shroud. It should. Hopefully it does. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, just like there should have been no reason for that one not to. However, it didn't. So I'm going to do some further looking into this. I'm going to do some measurements of this location here from the top here where this is supposed to set up against the bottom of the radiator, and see what the difference is here. I'm going to scale it out and everything, and then also from this mounting point here to this point here, right here, same with the ETS cooler, and see if it, where the ETS cooler fell short on why it touched right here on the ETS. It either has to do with the mounting point, or it had to do with this, but I don't believe it's the mounting point, because when it was touching here, it wasn't all the way up against the radiator on this edge of the intercooler like it was on the other side on the ETS cooler. Again, this is the the ETS ETS intercooler, and let's look at the silicone couplings that came in here in the box. They seem to be a lot stiffer and seem to be a lot higher grade silicone. I happen to know a decent bit about silicone. As you see here, it says ETS. They got their name on there. I have a really good friend of mine, local here, who actually deals silicone as a business. He has his own business. The business is called Hose Pimp, like HOSE and then Pimp, P-I-M-P. Check him out if you ever need any silicone. Really great guy. His name's Steve. And by knowing him for as long as I have, for around 10 years, and seeing the quality of silicone he sells, and when he talks about other silicone from China and stuff being cheaper, it's clear. You can tell the difference in the silicone. This pipe here, very, very nice black crinkle finish. Get it to focus here. It's a smooth crinkle. It's a crinkle, but it's not real jagged and rough. The edges are nice, smooth, coated well. No high spots on the edges. If it'll focus. Nice and even, smooth edges. Alright. The pipe itself it's got some weight to it too. It's not thin, cheap shit. It looks to be like it's actually probably stainless inside, not aluminum. Whereas that pipe, right there, it's in the box, is the one that came with the VRSpeed Factory kit. That's also their the VRSpeed Factory cold pipe that your diverters go on. The crinkle finish on those is a lot, I guess, more crinkled, if you will. It's real rough. If you drag your hand on it, it's not smooth like this. You kind of feel like you might scrape your fingers open and stuff on those. And the edges are jagged. I'll show you here in a minute. And they're real light, almost like they just used aluminum piping instead of stainless piping. T-bolt clamps. Oh, I can tell from looking at these. These are definitely a higher grade of T-bolt clamps. If you look, here are the couplings that came from the VR kit. And if you look at this, you can clearly see just how freaking flimsy these couplers are, which are going to balloon like crazy under boost, especially if you're running higher boost. This one here, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and take it out of the package, just to be fair here. Okay, we got it out of the package. ETS. Okay. Sure, it still squishes here, but if I squish in the middle, it's much firmer. And I'm actually putting some grip into it. In case you can't tell with my hand right there where my knuckles are, I'm putting some freaking grip into it. This one here, I don't even have to try. If I put grip into it, I can make the fucker touch. I mean, clearly make it touch. This one here, I'm gonna put mad grip into it. Okay? Mad grip. I can't make it touch. Way better quality silicone. Way better. T-bolt clamps. Ones that came with the VRSpeed Factory kit. Okay? If you look at this bolt here, it's straight all the way. Okay? A T-bolt clamp should be like the ones here that came with the ETS kit. A quality T-bolt clamp should have a bend right there to allow it to actually pull the radius in tighter when it comes around to clamp better. And that is a big thing. Looking at the quality of the nut here, even, it looks like a better grade of nut than the little cheap goldish looking ones. Let's see if we can get some better focus and light here. Than these cheap ones that came with the VRSpeed Factory kit. So overall, initial impression on the kit from ETS right now versus the VR kit. 10 times better. Absolutely 10 times better. Well worth the extra money. You're looking at this kit here minus their extra pipe here, the cold pipe with your diverters. You're looking at $449 or $469, so 400 something, mid high 400 for that kit. This kit here, you are looking at 710 or between low 700, mid 700. You're looking at a difference of $100 to maybe $125. In my opinion, hands down, way better quality from ETS than VRSpeed. Well worth the money spent. Here's that pipe for the cold side that I was talking about, and it's a much larger pipe than that little pipe there, which is your lower pipe on the cold side. This pipe here is just freaking light. I mean, stupid light. It's definitely aluminum. You look inside, you can even tell it's aluminum piping for those that know what they're looking at. And when you start looking at the quality of the finish, like I was talking about, you look and you can see right here by this flange, see that lip? That lip right there is the coating. That's how pathetic the coating is on this pipe. Got big old bubbles and blisters on it. Okay? On the other end, got a big old freaking lip of coating sticking up there. It's just, I mean, the edge is not even cut straight on this pipe. It looks like total shit. Same way with their lower pipe that replaces the lower plastic pipe on the cold side. You know, this one's not near as bad as the other one, but still, I mean, the coating is just not near as good. The quality is not near as good as the other one. And again, like I said, it's light. It's aluminum. It's an aluminum pipe. There's no way that's stainless steel. So, like I said, we got two coolers here. The one here closest to me right there, ETS, fantastic cooler. And from initial impressions, back here, VRSpeed Factory, stay away from it. I mean, honestly, even if you're on a budget, save the extra money, spend the extra money. It's not worth something that's cheap, that is so cheap that when you get it, hell, you can't even use it. That came in this past Tuesday. Today's Friday, the 10th of July. So this came in on Tuesday, earlier in the week. Was quite excited, sweet, got my new intercooler. I'm going to get it in Wednesday when I get home from work. Took my girl's car, she's out of town. I come home, I can't install it. It won't fit. I need this car back on the road by the end of the weekend because my girl's coming back into town this weekend and is going to need her car back. So I had to order this one. Not only did I have to order this one, but I had to pay overnight shipping, which was a grand total of $85 on top of the intercooler, for a grand total of, like, I think it was $855 shipped with the overnight shipping. And had some complications with the shipping per UPS, and they supposedly didn't leave it, but from what my neighbors are telling me, they did leave it at 9:52 this morning when it was supposed to come in, even though their tracking information didn't show that. So, long story short, I contacted ETS. I said, look, y'all, we're supposed to ship it to my work address, not to my home address, because I was not going to be home to sign for it. And they said, look, you know, this is what happened. When I had initially placed the order with ETS yesterday for their cooler, when I paid through PayPal, it had my home address, and they said they couldn't ship it to my work address unless it was the address that comes in through my payment through PayPal. So, let me turn our camera around here. So with that being said, they said, hey, we'll cancel that transaction, we will refund your money, and change your information, and we'll send you a new invoice for it with the overnight shipping charge, and just pay that one, and we'll get it out to you, and we'll send it to your work address. And I said, great, that'd be wonderful. I'll have it at work by 10:30. I get off at 4:30. I come home, no problems. I can get my car back together. And they made a mistake that their shipping department grabbed the wrong ticket and grabbed the original ticket, and they sent it here. And after spending probably a total of maybe an hour and a half today on the phone with them, and also with UPS trying to work everything out, UPS said they would bring the package back by at a little after 6 o'clock. And when I got home at like 6:05, the package was already actually here. Like I was saying earlier, my neighbor said that they actually left it at 9:52 this morning. I don't know why their tracking information's screwy, but it is. But anyhow, long story short, ETS said, you know what, look, we ultimately made the wrong choice here. We made the mistake. We sent it to the wrong address. We take full responsibility for that. And they credited me my $85 shipping charge back. So I ended up not even paying shipping for this because of their error. And that cooler there from VRSpeed Factory, which does not even fit my car, when I contact them through email, which if you look at my previous videos in the description, it has my emails back and forth with VRSpeed Factory, they were not even wanting to own the shipping back to them to do a return on this, when I told them that it did not fit my car, and it's supposed to fit my car. And they're like, well, we'll refund it to you, but you have to pay to ship it back. So then I'd be out, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 30 bucks roughly, depending on who you ship it with and what shipping you use, just to get it back to them. And it's not even my fault that I can't use it. If it had fit, sure, it's a lower quality cooler kit than the other one, it's clear. But honestly, in all honesty, had that actually bolted in, cleared everything, and worked, that's the cooler I'd be running. I'd be rocking their cooler, and honestly, if it fit and it seemed to be working, I'd be praising that company and their cooler, and I'd be like, yeah, for $400 something, you can get a hell of a kit. And I'd be telling everybody I know and recommending this kit. But because it does not fit, and because of the response that I got of, oh, well, you know, we're not responsible for paying for the shipping back to us, when clearly it doesn't fit, they're going to get quite the opposite, and they are getting quite the opposite from me. They're getting negative reviews, bad customer service that I received caused all this, and they're getting a comparison. They're getting blasted on the internet, on YouTube, publicly, and I mean, honestly, there's not a damn thing they can do anymore from this point forward other than taking it back and paying for the shipping back to them. But there's nothing that they could do to ever change my opinion and my impression of their company and the way that they do business off of this one incident here. And like the saying goes, which is very true, first impressions are what counts. And if you fuck up a first impression, there's no second first impression. Once you've given somebody a bad impression, that's what they're going to remember. So, will I ever buy any product for any of my cars, ever, from VRSpeed Factory, even if they are the lowest price? Absolutely not. I don't care if it's a part they don't build. I don't care if it's a part that they buy, that they just retail, and they have a better price. I'll pay $10, $20 more somewhere else to take my business to somebody who's respectful, for one, who's also willing to fess up to the fact that, okay, maybe something is wrong, maybe something slipped through quality control when this kit was built, and maybe you're right, it actually is wrong. And just take the hit for it, bring it back, and be done with it. And if if they take the kit back and they install, try to install it on a car and it fits for them, fantastic, and they choose to resell it to somebody else, that's their business. They lose what? $30 in shipping to ship it back to them in a refund, but leaving a good memory in my mind that they took care of business and made things right even though it didn't fit. They said no problem. Then yeah, I'd probably do business with them again. But yet ETS sends it out. I do get it today, okay? But because they made a simple mistake of sending it to the wrong address, even though I still got it, they credit $85 back for overnight, one-day shipping. Overnight shipping, $85, twice as much as it would have cost to ship the other one back to the seller from VR. So it just, to me, no-brainer, common sense. Customer service is beyond anything else. If you have poor customer service and you stay in business, I have no fucking clue how. Because to me, if I'm not treated right as a customer, I'm not treated with respect, and when I have an issue, you're not willing to work with me on it, in the fact that your product is actually defective, you're not willing to back your product to take it back at no cost to me, then I won't do business with you. So, enough of me rambling on. It's like, just looked at my phone, it's been like 20 minutes. I'm fixing to go outside. We're going to throw this cooler up in the bumper of the car, and if it fits, I'm going to get back with y'all. I'm going to let y'all know. I'll take some videos of it to show the clearance and stuff, since I already showed y'all videos of the lack of clearance of the VR kit. So, here in a little while, I'll get back with y'all and give y'all an update on the ETS cooler kit, and y'all have a great day.